Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of One Man Cups. My name is James Mitchell. This is Steve Shepard. This is Logan O'Sullivan, and we will be hosting today's presentation together. All right, just to give you guys a quick overview, first we're going to start with the history of One Man Cups, then we're going to start with the actual presentation, and then the third thing we're going to go into Q&A with our audience, and then we're going to close to wrap it up. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
That's good. Okay, One Man Cups was created by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, and next slide. The purpose of this foundation was to work with communities and entrepreneurship and education to increase opportunities that allows all people to learn, to take their own risk, and to own their success. And they did that with One Man Cups. One Man Cups is a free weekly program that educates, engages the local entrepreneurs. It's a community as well as an environment. It's an environment where you get to hear about businesses, their successes and their failures, ask questions, and be able to use that information to your own business or someone else. And that's really what it's about. Overall mission behind One Man Cups is to, again, not only to lower the barrier of access to education and resources for all entrepreneurs, but to create a community in which people share information and have different conversations about that information so that we can build and grow amongst each other. In the beginning, One Man Cup started off with one community in a small city in Kansas, and then it grew to two communities in late January of 2013. And then year after year, it grew to about 163 communities in 2018. Moving forward, there are 160 plus communities, but in each location, there's usually 1 to 2 presenters. Today, we'll have one presentation. This gentleman will have 6 minutes to present, along with 15 minutes of Q&A. And for our audience, next slide. If you want to learn more about One Man Cups or want to learn how to present your One Man Cups, please visit our platform at www.onemancups.com/Chico. And without further ado, Tucker, the stage is yours.
Here we go.
All right, fun. Well, we have video. That's in real life. So, first presenter, I guess, in real life of 1 million cups.
Yeah, for a long time.
So we'll get the presentation pulled up here. I'm Van. I'm the general manager of Future Lockers, a company called Luxor One. We're based out of Sacramento. I'm here outside of Chico, but today I'm talking about a project called Droplocker that we've been developing. And go on to the next slide here. And what we're really doing is we're building the world's largest locker network. You know, what is a locker network, or what we're doing, and we'll kind of talk to you more about it and share what it is. So go to the next slide. Today we're in about 6,500 locations around the United States. We have mostly multifamily properties. The Timber Apartments here in Chico, they have our lockers. We have the University of Chico State, the library does for bag pickups. So the lockers we have today are mostly closed lockers all around the United States and used for different edge cases. So you can see we have multifamily properties inside buildings, outdoors, at universities, co-working spaces, and retail locations around the United States. And all these are lockers that we've been doing for about 10 years. So you can see us at Best Buy, and we're rolling out to Home Depots all throughout the United States and the UPS store. So these lockers are out there, but they're all closed lockers, but not anyone can use. So I'm working on, so the next slide. This is a network already, 6,500 locations, and we've done over 100 million package deliveries, about 1 million a month we do right now through our network we have. And but the locker network we have right now is closed, so it's not open to anyone. So that is the future we see, is building a new locker network that is on top of our existing network that's truly open to anyone to use. For entrepreneurs, businesses, anyone can take this locker. So our current lockers are all used mostly by UPS, FedEx, Amazon, and other carriers. But we're making lockers that are outside, kind of like a UPS box or Amazon locker, but anyone can use it. They can use it to build an app on top of it. They can use it to store items with their friends, or maybe a B2B company wants to use it for their manage their employees' assets. So we're making an approach, a mini storage locker that anyone can use that's empowered by technology. So this is what it looks like. It's called an Anywhere Locker. It's a product name. It can be put anywhere. So we just drag and drop it. Here it is right here next to a FedEx and UPS box. We just got done installing 5 of these lockers throughout Chico. So some more. And here's another photo of it, nice and clean. We put graphics on it. Next one. So this is changing our business model. We're moving to a hardware as a service company. Currently, we sell our products as one-time sales, and we have technology licenses on top of it. But now we're making it as a hardware as a service, kind of like a piece of software, and you just pay per use on the lockers. So that lets anyone really get into making locker experiences that are typically kind of out of reach with really heavy capital investment to use a locker. The next, kind of talked about before, different use cases of it. You can use it for a lot of stuff. You can use it for any idea you can build, you can use it on a locker. So we can give example use cases, but at the end of the day, we're making it like the Apple Store on Apple to build an application. You pretty much have any type of creative idea, you can just take our Bluetooth SDK and our APIs and connect to our locker to build an experience on top of it. So we're starting in Chico. Since we have no customers, I told you all these people that use our lockers, like Best Buy, Home Depot, UPS store, but these are current customers that use our closed network lockers, not our open lockers. So we thought, hey, we don't have a customer, let's be our own first customer. So we started this company that kind of open source called Droplocker, and we're coming to Chico to launch this technology. And yesterday, we just installed our first 5 lockers located throughout the city, and we'll be ready to deploy hopefully next week or a half or so. You should be able to actually use the lockers. What that is. So the next, meet Droplocker, you can click that little button. The audio works or not.
Hey, want to easily drop off the store and share items with friends? We got your back. Here at Droplocker, we are Chico's neighborhood public locker with fast and convenient locations near you. Drop it, store it, share it with Droplocker. Try it free today at droplocker.com.
So this is Droplocker. This is the project that we're kind of rolling out. It's a case study, you can say. It's open source, so we're giving out all of our source code of what we're doing, and we're really just trying to, one, validate our technology, make sure it's working, but also inspire other entrepreneurs and other businesses to take leverage Droplocker the way it works, or they can take our code and build something else out of it as they want as well. So the next slide. So we kind of coined the word, we built the iPhone calculator app. When iPhone released their iPhone, they made a calculator that kind of shows how it can build cool apps. This is what Droplocker is. It's the iPhone calculator app of our locker. So it doesn't do all the things you can do with the locker. It just kind of does the bare minimal things for you to actually open and close and store an item. And you can start using this locker. Droplocker starting at $1 per day, and you can use it for free for your first use. So you pay all on a per day basis currently on anyone who wants to use our lockers. Okay. So here's a quick little screens of you see our locations. You can then drop off your item. You can share it with a buddy if you want to have them come pick it up if they left their keys at their house, or maybe you sold something on Facebook Marketplace. You want to exchange it there safely, or if you want to store like your backpack and you didn't want to run all the way home to do it, you can find a convenient location and store your items there. So that's the Droplocker app, and that's it. So we may try Droplocker. You can go to droplocker.com. You can join our wait list to get on the early invite. If you want to build an app or something on top of our solution, you reach out to me as well, and there's my contact details. So thanks for having me.
Yeah.
While you're up there, of course, you already know we're going to our Q&A and et cetera. But I want to ask you, well, I know this personally, but for the audience, can you just explain like your background, who you are, and how you got, to create
more about band.
More about band. We only have so many minutes here to go through, so we don't have the whole backstory of band. So a little bit about me. I've been an entrepreneur at Chico State, entrepreneurship. Had a business when I was in school. So this is actually, I am a general manager at this company called Luxury One, my first actual real job you can say I've ever had. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, building venture studios, working with commerce companies, and getting into logistics. So that's what I've been doing for the last 15, 12 years-ish. And now we started this company. This is kind of a new venture out of Luxury One. So it's called Harbor Lockers, and we have Droplocker. So it's kind of a new corporate venture that I'm working on, and that's what I've been kind of doing. And that's what I've been doing for my whole life, is building companies.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. If anybody else in the audience would like to ask, if they had a question, now's the time.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I saw Droplocker, there was something about a laundry service. I don't know if you saw that under a different, when I did a search for Droplocker just in Google.
Yeah.
So you're not have no connection to that, or did you acquire
We
the
do
name?
have connections to the laundry service. So the Luxor one started as a laundry company. So, and we found, we had the domain Droplocker still available to use it. So Droplocker is the first version of our package storage management solution. And it was started in San Francisco, droplocker.com. And we were using it for laundry delivery and pickup. One of the downfalls of that business was it's really expensive to buy all these lockers and start a business on top of lockers. So that laundry business has been sold off, and we kept the asset droplocker.com for this activation that we're doing. But the goal is to find companies like other people at laundromats that can use our lockers. So our whole new public locker idea kind of spun away from the laundry business as well.
It's interesting what you can learn from what may not work.
Yeah, because if you have one single company, it doesn't really make sense to go buy your own lockers and do everything. But if you can kind of crowdsource, say 20 people, 100 different companies using the same locker, then it makes economic sense for them to use lockers.
So, like I said, do I need to come over here to ask
No,
questions?
you just-
Okay.
Oh, okay. So, I find this really interesting because that was one of the first premises of the Amazon and Whole Foods relationship. That's one of the things that Amazon wanted to do. So I used to be on the due diligence team for Tiger Gold. So I worked on that. And one of the things they really wanted to look at was using space at Whole Foods for lockers, for Amazon lockers.
Yeah.
Right. And that hasn't taken off the way they thought it would. I mean, it was one of the areas they wanted to put lockers. But it seems to me with everything being so, I think the timing is more right now for things like what you're trying to do. And when I think about it from a purely selfish perspective, like I know I would want to leverage something, but a little bit bigger actually, leverage something like this for my Airbnbs. So those that want to rent the beach cruisers while they're there can access it from the locker. For those who want to use my kayaks while they're there and pay for it, they can access it. I don't have to be there. I don't have to manage it, right? I don't know if you guys have thought about that too. I'm sure you have because you guys are brilliant. But you know, those are other things that come to mind when I think about this locker solution. The other thing I think is the other thing I'd ask you to explain to those who may not know on the call is what an SDK is. I know what it is, but explain what an SDK is and why that's important to have open source.
Yeah, so the form factor of the locker that we show that little mini tower can be changed to a lot of different configurations.
Okay.
So that's kind of the configuration based on our research of what most of our volume gets.
Yeah.
But we do have locker rooms already that you can convert a room to a locker, and our SDK can convert that into it. So that's what most of our engine is built on, is the SDK and Bluetooth. So an SDK is a software development kit that lets other developers easily integrate our technology. So instead of building everything from scratch, they take our software development kit, something that usually may take us years to build, they can get done in like a week. They can take our code and actually get it working pretty fast. So that's where our sweet spot is. You know, we have this form factor of a locker I showed, but that's the initial version, but it could be added to a locker room. It could be added to a locker closet. It could be all different things because it's all kind of a smart lock solution that we developed.
And then where are the 5 locations for partners here in Chico?
In Chico, we got Ray's Liquor, all of our outdoor locations, so they're not inside the store.
Okay.
So they're outside ABC Market. We have Wine Cellar. We have Blue Oval across the street from Safeway on Nord. And then we have City Market that's down on the Esplanade.
Okay.
So those are locations we have.
Nice.
So do you just talk to those businesses individually to say, hey, can we put a locker here? Or is there another hoop you have to jump through?
Just private properties are nice. So yeah, so we went to very similar to Amazon's play. Amazon went part of like 7-Eleven and other locations. We like empowering entrepreneurs. So we like going to work with smaller companies. So we just walk up and talk to those locations and tell them the advantages of hosting a locker, how they can bring more people into their store, and things like that.
Very cool. So does that business itself, can they make a profit off of the revenue, or do you pay them one fee?
Very similar to an ATM machine. So it's all, ATM machines do revenue shares to the locations. Same thing we do. So we give revenue shares to location host that we call, and they can get revenue off that transaction fee that we charge.
Awesome.
So we're pretty much inventing the new ATMs we kind of think of.
No, I like that.
But for storing and exchanging.
Yeah.
So, Van, you talked about, I think you talked about the timber apartments
Yeah.
or apartment complexes. Not strategic's not the word, but how gung ho are you doing that? I know my daughter goes to LSU and obviously is in a off-campus apartment, and the delivery has been terrible. Like the front desk is terrible. They don't. So, I mean, I just think that's a really good market, especially in the university area.
Yes, we have a whole team, multifamily team. That's what they do. I'm separate from that team, but so we would work with properties that are existing properties or new builds, and they integrate our Luxor One system. So the timbers, for example, they put it inside of they have quite a few lockers because it's a big property, the timbers there. So we would just work with the property, and they typically purchase our system as a new amenity to the property. Then we offer services on top of it to manage the lockers. So a lot of times it takes away the property manager, the front desk, pretty much resolves all their package issues.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when kids are moving in. I mean, it was crazy. Like they lost stuff. They just didn't contact them. This would be beautiful.
Yeah, so if you want to share Luxor One, LUXER1, their details, and we have some reach out. If they reach out to us, or we reach out to them.
Yeah.
And we can talk more about what their needs are.
Yeah, it just seems like the university would be a great start.
Universities is big. We do a lot of universities, kind of our newer market. We were initially focused all on apartments, but universities is kind of a new venture division. So we have Chico State. We have for libraries. For like book pickup and drop off. And some other universities do it for item exchange, like IT items and things like that. So universities we do quite a bit with as well now.
Thank you.
I'd love to hear more about the tracking and reporting. Like if somebody's going to be notified, right, after somebody's picked it up, right? And then, so I'm sure there's a whole chain, a whole logic attached to those activities.
Well, our new Harbor public locker is very basic. So we did that on purpose. All the reporting, we don't see any of the data, is all privatized data. So we don't see any of the customer details or user details that are being dropped off and picked up. So you're pretty much opening and dropping off and reserving lockers, but all your reporting that you want to do on your users that you have to do within your own app.
Oh, okay.
We do that for one is a lot of people have very specific reporting needs, and a lot of the companies we've already working with already have reporting built out.
Okay.
And so they just kind of bolt on this locker component into their app.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So as I continue to think about it for my own selfish needs, I could see how this would be very useful for all sorts of Airbnb applications.
Yeah, so if we take Droplocker app, our dream is someone sees a need to make a niche, right? So vacation rental, and they take our locker and they make a company called vacationrental.com or something. And they put items in their locker and they can then share codes and people buy it through their app. So the goal is us to really empower entrepreneurs with really creative ideas, and that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah, I think that's great. So what do you guys need funding wise? Are you guys just bootstrapping? What do you guys think?
This is a venture-backed company.
Okay.
So we are not really venture-backed, we're actually corporate venture-backed.
Okay.
So we are a publicly traded company, actually.
Oh, okay. Under Luxor One?
Under Assa Abloy.
Okay.
Assa Abloy owns Luxor One.
Oh, okay, got
So we're owned by a German company.
it. Nice, nice. Okay, so you don't have to worry, you're not like worried about going for your next series or anything.
No, the only, as we grow this network, it's very expensive. So as we grow the scale of this network, we may change the model.
Yeah, okay, okay, that makes sense. But, and how many employees, do you guys have now?
On this division, we have 5. We're a
Okay.
small, lean team, but our whole company is 250.
Okay, got it.
So if an entrepreneur were to approach you, can you modify those lockers to suit their needs, or is there a certain space requirement? I'm talking about like making a locker to be able to store larger items, or is there just a basic?
Currently the base configuration, but we can add different lockers. We have like an add-on locker that's bigger. So depending on the partner we're working with, we can work on modifying our module system, but it is a multi-service system currently. So it's not like it's only open only for one company.
Makes sense.
It's being used by multiple service providers. So if you want a 100% custom bespoke locker solution, we can do it. This would not be part of our public locker. We kind of work with you on designing a locker solution. And that's how most of our large retail brands we work with in designing a custom locker solution to work with their needs.
I have a quick question. You know, all those liquor stores that you put the lockers at, they all said, how many businesses deny you guys if that ever happened, or were they all willing? Like, yeah, sure, yeah. Or
How many lockers did
if you had.
Yeah, what's your hit rate?
This is very entertaining. 100% close ratio. Got lucky, you guys, you can say. That's what we like Chico for. Chico's an entrepreneur spirit town. So got very lucky on getting the first location that I went to, and he then introduced me to the other locations. So that is one of the perks of Chico. You know, a lot of people are connected and they talk to each other. So, and fun part is, you know, this is all these owners also talk to other towns. So, you know, other locations, so that we're looking in other markets and they, oh, we got buddies in these other markets we introduce you to. So that's the whole concept. We want to work with other entrepreneurs. That's where we do like working with smaller retailers.
And so you said that if someone were to form a business around that, would they utilize your app, or would they use your software open source to make their own app?
They would make their own app.
Okay.
So they take our code that gets you 50% there, then they would then rehash and make the back end and rebrand it to be with your own app on it.
Okay, and then so they would utilize the lockers that are open to the public. So would it tell them, you know, how much availability that they would be allotted? Okay.
Yeah, correct. So we're looking for someone in Chico. If we want to start in Chico, that's always cool. We've got lockers. So if anyone in Chico wants to build an app that's based around lockers, you know, we can start in Chico. But the vision is, you know, we are on a mission to build the world's largest locker network. Right now we have 5 locations in Chico. We have 6,500 locations currently that are not private lockers. But we are looking to have the world's largest locker network. So Amazon has about 10,000 lockers. Then there's a company in Europe that's about 20,000, a delivery company. Then in China has a Hybox locker that's over 100,000. So for us to be the biggest, we've got quite a lot of ways to get there. So we're like in 5th position currently. If we count all the locations, but we're going from 5th position to top position.
There you go.
Next 5 years.
I see you have a question there, Ken?
Yes, thank you. I can lower my hand here. Yeah, so you mentioned Facebook Marketplace in the middle of all that. Are you gonna, maybe you should, what I would recommend is that you have some sort of a thing for those kind of things. So if someone wants to do Facebook Marketplace drop shipping or something, or that could be kind of expedited with some interface that you come up with. That way, I don't know. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel to try to figure out how to do that right. In other words, have a use case type thing or whatever. application notes.
The Droplocker app that we built has a similar use case, so it's kind of like Venmo. So you could drop an item off and share a link, and then someone can pick it up. So that covers the use case of Facebook Marketplace on a kind of a Venmo method, but for exchanging the item. It'd be amazing, Facebook would integrate in with us, and then you can pay for it through Facebook, drop it off through Facebook, and it's 100% seamless into Facebook. That's what our technology is really geared towards, is apps that no one even knows what Harbor or Luxor One is it's all fully integrated into these apps, and no one even knows it's another company. So that's what we're shooting for, is to have it 100% integrated in, and we don't really provide user experience that other companies kind of integrated into the experience, kind of like Twilio for text messages or Stripe for payments. Most people don't even know who those companies are.
Yeah, right, good point.
Okay, any more questions from the audience?
Well, so I know you said you wanted to like be number one with your like expansion. So would it be like an international, or would you focus on domestic?
We'll focus on the United States. So that's our primary market, is the United States. So we do have the one to make the world's biggest locker networks, but there's really no one in the United States in the locker space, and the timing is close to perfect right now, since we're with COVID really expelled like increasing adoption. So that is where we're focused on the United States currently, but we do want to go with it.
So would that be, you just said no one else did besides Amazon, or who would you say, how would you identify your competitor?
We have no direct competitors on this headless locker concept. There is many other locker companies providing partial management and package management solutions in the market. Luxor One, we're the top competitor, it's one of the top companies in the United States. But if you go into other markets, a lot of postal companies like UPS, but InPost, they have lockers. But for making this eco platform where anyone can develop apps and use it for more than just packages, there's no any other direct competitors. There's other companies making their own standalone lockers, like there's a laundry locker, Dropbox, but not making a multi-service provider network.
Right. Industry agnostic.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool.
Okay. If anybody else, were you still trying to say something, Eva?
Nope, I was just saying that's all the questions I have at the moment. I have another idea, but it's nothing, it's not a question.
Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
All right, thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
First, this is I really love to for sure, Ben. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Logan. I want to thank in closing, I want to thank the whole 1 Minute Cups team for showing up and supporting Ben, as well as 1 Minute Cups in general. Next slide. I also like to thank our community sponsors. You never forget about those people. Morgan Stanley, Chico Start, Real Tech, Global Entrepreneurship Network, T-Bar, Build.com, Startup Grind, Florida Butte County, and last but not least, of course, Snowball Coffee. For anyone that's interested in joining 1 Minute Cups, remember we're always here Wednesdays at 9 a.m. for Zoom. And next week we're gonna have Hope Notes with Johnny Crowder, which is a text messaging service for mental health. It's gonna be quite interesting, kind of like what we sparked about with mental health aspect on it. And for anybody that's here, if you want to sign up for our Chico Start newsletter, there's a QR code. You can scan it now, and you'll be subscribed after signing up our form. So yeah, thank you guys for showing up, and thank you, Van.
All right.